Hello students of 9th standard, we have started the lesson number 8, that is nothing but useful and harmful microorganisms. In that we are going to study some few new points here. See here, do you know often alcohol is produced along with the sugar in the sugar factories. We know that there are sugar factories around us, and in these sugar factories with the sugar the alcohol is also produced. Molasses is also produced with the sugarcane juice. So it is rich in the carbohydrates. Molasses is fermented with the help of the yeast called as a Saccharomyces. So see what is done. Molasses is also fermented with the help of the yeast. That means yeast is also used for the fermentation of the molasses. That is nothing but it is called as a Saccharomyces. In this process, ethanol alcohol is produced as a primary producer and ester and other alcohol as the secondary products. Here two products are produced that are nothing but the one is primary product and the second is secondary product. In the primary product the ethyl alcohol is produced, and in the secondary products the other alcohols like ester and other alcohols they are produced in the, you can say, these types of the alcohols. Spirit and other alcohols can be obtained from the ethanol. Whenever you see that the spirit and other alcohols can be also obtained from the ethanol. Ethanol is also smokeless and high quality of a fuel. So ethanol is smokeless and it is also a high quality of a fuel. Then see, besides molasses, maize, barley and other grains are also used for the industrial, you can say, production of the ethanol. So see there, maize, barley and other, you can say, grains are also used for the production of the alcohol in an industrial production of the, you can say, ethanol. See, glucose and fructose, the sugars, these are nothing but the glucose and fructose are nothing but the sugars. They are present in the grape juice. So we obtain them from the grape juice. They are also fermented with the help of the yeast. These, you can say, juices, they are also, you can say, fermented with the help of the, you can say, juice, or you can say with the help of the yeast to produce the alcohol, which is used for making the wines also. Then see next one, bioremediation. There is a bioremediation which is done here. See there, a yeast, Erevia lipotica is used to absorb the toxins released during the production of an palm oil. Whenever there is a, you can say, released or toxins which are released during the production of the palm oil, this type of a yeast is used. And heavy metals and minerals released in some other, you can say, industrial processes, this type of the, you can say, the yeast is used. Saccharomyces cerevisiae is used for the absorption of the pollutant which is called as a arsenic. Then again oil spills in the oceans, there also we use, or we can clear it with the help of the, you can say, Albanese borax bacteria. So these are the types of the bacteria from which you can get, or these are the bioremediations from which are helpful to us in various types. The next point that we are going to study is nothing but the antibiotic. Antibiotic is nothing but what's here? Carbon compounds. There are carbon compounds which are obtained from some bacteria and fungi for destroying or preventing the growth of harmful microorganisms are called as antibiotics. So what are antibiotics? Antibiotics are nothing but the carbon compounds which are obtained from some of the bacteria and fungi. They are obtained from the bacteria and fungi. And why they are helpful? They are helpful in destroying or preventing the growth of the harmful microorganisms which are called as antibiotics. So antibiotics are a discovery of the 20th century. It is nothing but a discovery of a 20th century and have brought about a revolution in the field of the medicine. Antibiotic is so useful for us in the various diseases, and the discovery of the antibiotic in the 20th century, it has brought a revolution in the field of the medicine. Even a disease like tuberculosis, which was not curable in the ancient days, now it is curable in these modern days. Now has been almost completely eradicated from some countries. That means the disease which was not curable in the ancient days, nowadays it is curable in some of the countries, and most of the, you can say, peoples have covered this, or you can say cured from this disease in many of the countries. Antibiotic mainly act against the, you can say, bacteria. Antibiotic mainly acts on the bacteria. Some antibiotics can destroy the protozoa also. The antibiotics mainly they act on the bacteria. That means they are destroying the bacteria or they are killing the bacteria. But there are some antibiotics which destroy the protozoa. Some antibiotics are useful against the wide variety of bacteria. That means you can say some antibiotics are available here. So we can destroy them, or you can say by using these antibiotics we can destroy the wide variety of the bacteria. They are called as a broad spectrum antibiotics. Means what does the broad spectrum antibiotics means? They are nothing but some antibiotics which are useful against the wide variety of the bacteria, and these are called as the broad spectrum antibiotics. Example: ampicillin, amoxicillin, tetracycline. These are nothing but you can say broad spectrum antibiotics. When the pathogen cannot be identified, even though the symptoms of the disease are visible, what does it mean? That you cannot identify the pathogen, but you can see some symptoms of the disease. These are nothing but the broad spectrum antibiotics. Here the broad spectrum antibiotics are used. Then see, whenever a pathogenic microorganism is definitely you can say known, then narrow spectrum antibiotics are used. For example, you can say penicillin, gentamicin and erythromycin. See, the next point is penicillin from your textbook. Penicillin is a group of antibiotics obtained from fungus. So what does this tell us? That penicillin is nothing but a group of antibiotics. It is nothing but a group of antibiotics which is obtained from the fungus. Now penicillium and is used for controlling the infection caused by bacteria like Staphylococcus, Clostridia, Streptococcus. So see, it is controlling the infections which is caused by the bacteria, and the bacteria are nothing but Staphylococcus, Clostridia, then again Streptococcus. Then see, medicine that containing penicillin are used to treat certain, you can say, bacterial infections. So that means penicillium is nothing but a medicine which is used to treat the bacterial infection. For example, you can say you can treat the infections of ear, nose, throat and skin, as well as you can treat it in the pneumonia disease also. Then see, question: antibiotic should be taken only when prescribed by the doctor. Antibiotic can be taken only when it is prescribed by the doctor. Do not purchase any antibiotic from the medical stores without a prescription. That means without prescription you should not purchase any of the antibiotic from the, you can say, medical store. Do not consume antibiotic on your own to treat common diseases like throat infection, common cold or influenza. You should not treat yourself the disease. For example, you can say you should not take the antibiotics in the throat infection, or you can say common cold or influenza. Even if you feel well before completing the, you can say, dose, then what you have to do, you have to complete the dose of the antibiotic. Do not suggest to the others the antibiotic whichever are useful to you. Introduction to scientist. Alexander Fleming, a professor of microbiology at St. Mary Hospital, had cultured the varieties of the bacteria and fungi in the petri dish in his laboratory. So what it was done, see there, Alexander Fleming was one of the scientists. He was the professor of microbiology at St. Mary's Hospital, and he has cultured the varieties of bacteria and fungi in the petri dish in his laboratory. On 3rd December 1928, while observing staphylococci cultures, he made an interesting observation in the petri dish. What he was doing? When he was observing his work, he felt or he observed one of the interesting thing in his petri dish. In that petri dish, fungal colonies had grown, but area around the colonies was clean and clear. When he saw that there was a area of a colony was developed there, colony of a fungi was developed there, fungal colony was developed, and the area which was around that was very clean and clear. So see, bacteria had actually been destroyed. He saw that the bacteria had been actually destroyed. After further studies, he confirmed that fungus growing there. After further studies, what he did, he came to a conclusion that penicillin and its secretion has destroyed these bacterial colonies. He came to understand that the penicillin has destroyed these colonies. Then see what happened. Thus, the first antibiotic penicillin had been discovered accidentally. The penicillin was discovered accidentally, and this formed the basis for the attempts to find cures and curable disease, and due to this we can use it to cure the incurable diseases. Shouldn't we always be grateful to the, you can say, Alexander Fleming for discovering the life-saving antibiotic? Because he has discovered the antibiotic, so we have to thank for the Alexander Fleming.